G'day everyone and welcome. I'm so glad you're here for the Reset Your Life, Rewrite Your Story. This isn't just another webinar, it's your chance to break free from what's been holding you back and start creating a future you can truly be proud of. Whether you're feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or just ready for a fresh start, you're in exactly the right place. Over the next little while, we'll explore practical, science backed action steps designed to help you reset your mindset, rewrite your story, and build the life you deserve. One step at a time. These tools are simple, powerful, and ready for you to use right now, no matter where you're at in life. So grab a notebook, clear your space, and give yourself this gift of a focused time. You're investing in you, and that's the best decision you can make. You are not stuck with the brain you were born with. For many years, scientists believed the brain was fixed, like a machine with preset wiring. But modern research tells us different. Your brain is constantly evolving, shaped by every experience, thought, and habit. This ability to change is called neuroplasticity. The way you think, feel, and act can literally reshape the structure of your brain. This means you have the power to change, not just what you do, but how your brain works. Transformation isn't just possible, it's biological. Your brain powers every thought and action. Every movement you make, emotion you feel, or idea you think begins with a signal between brain cells. These cells, called neurons, send messages using tiny chemical messages known as neurotransmitters, which cross small gaps called synapses. As you learn, the shape and the function of these synapses shift, allowing your brain to adapt. Neurons that frequently activate together begin to wire together, forming networks that link different areas of your brain. This is how your brain builds habits, stores memories, and creates patterns of behavior. Your mind can change in two main ways: by forming new neurons or connections between neurons, or by strengthening the connection that already exists. This ability to rewire itself is known as neuroplasticity, and it is the foundation of your potential for change. So, how your brain learns and grows. Your brain is constantly changing. Every time you try something new, it begins building fresh connections between brain cells, a process known as synaptogenesis. When you take on a new challenge, whether it's a skill, a way of thinking, or a different emotional response, your brain starts forming more synapses in the areas needed to support that change. These connections strengthen the more you practice. In simple terms, the only way to truly learn something new is to do something new. Action is what reshapes your brain. Once those new connections are in place, repeated practice helps fine tune and strengthens them. That's how you move from effort to ease, and from trying to and from trying to mastery. How improvement actually happens. When you practice something, your brain makes it easier to repeat by strengthening the connection between your brain cells. This process is called long-term potentiation, and it's how learning sticks. With each repetition, the gap between communicating neurons becomes more efficient. Messages travel faster and more smoothly, making the action or thought easier to perform. The more you use a neural pathway, the more streamlined and powerful it becomes. Think of it like a, you know, building a muscle. If you push yourself to run just a little harder or lift a bit more weight, your body adapts. Your brain works the same way, except instead of muscle fibers, you're strengthening circuits. When you stretch your mental capacity by practicing something just outside your comfort zone, you fire and reinforce the right neural pathways. Over time, this rewires your brain to make those actions feel natural, automatic, and strong. So, in short, what you do repeatedly becomes what you do easily. Change is a choice, and it starts with practice. Your brain changes when you use it in new ways. When you activate a specific circuit by thinking differently, doing something new, or choosing a better habit, you're strengthening those connections. That's how change becomes real. The phrase practice makes permanent is more than a saying. It's how neuroplasticity works. Repetition strengthens the brain's wiring, turning effort into ease and new behaviors into automatic responses. Whether you're trying to break an old habit or build a new skill, transformation happens when you act intentionally. Every time you challenge yourself to think, feel, or behave differently, your brain adapts. The truth is, change is always possible, but it won't happen by accident. It happens through conscious choice and repeated action. Change your patterns and you change your life. So, what will you change first? Neuroplasticity gives us a powerful truth. You are not stuck. Your brain is built to adapt, grow, and rewire in response to what you think, feel, and do. That means change isn't just possible, it's part of who you are. You can reshape your mindset, your habits, your emotional responses, and the way you show up in the world. So instead of asking if change is possible, ask yourself, what do I want to change first? The decision is yours, and your brain is ready. Self-awareness. The starting point of change, real change begins with awareness. Until you recognize your thoughts, emotions, and automatic reactions, you can't begin to shift them. Self-awareness is your ability to tune into your inner world, your feelings, your thoughts, impulses, and desires, and notice how they influence your behavior. It gives you insight into why do what you do and what's driving your choices. When you increase self-awareness, you become more intentional. You're less likely to get thrown off course by stress, emotional triggers, or mental fatigue, and more able to stay aligned with your goals and values. It also helps you navigate relationships more consciously, you start to recognize how others impact you and how you affect them in return. Self-awareness isn't just a tool for change, it's good for your health. Research shows that building it can lower stress, reduce anxiety, and boost overall well-being. So, how do you build self-awareness? You reflect by putting your thoughts and feelings into words, whether spoken or written. You make the, the invisible visible. You shift unconscious patterns into conscious understanding. And that's where transformation begins. Limiting beliefs. The stories that hold you back. Limiting beliefs are those deep-seated thoughts or assumptions that convince you that success or change isn't possible for you. Even when there's little evidence to support them, you accept these beliefs as absolute truths, whether they're about yourself, your relationships, or how the world works. These beliefs can block your path by influencing your decisions, preventing you from seizing new opportunities, or stopping you from reaching your full potential. They trap you in a negative thinking pattern that keeps you from living the life you truly want. Often, limiting beliefs are unconscious mental patterns formed to protect you from emotional pain or failure. Your subconscious mind tries to keep you safe, but in doing so, it can lead to avoidance behaviors like procrastination, anxiety, self-doubt, or imposter syndrome. Because these beliefs often operate beneath your awareness, building self-awareness is key to identifying and challenging them. As Tony Robbins wisely puts it, the only thing that keeps you from getting what you want is the story you keep telling yourself. Become your own greatest ally. Do you ever feel like your own, like your own toughest critic? That the one who holds yourself back or gets in your own way. The good news is you can change that by learning to reframe your limiting thoughts and emotions. You can shift from being your harshest judge to your strongest, powerful supporter. Becoming an ally to yourself means treating yourself with kindness and understanding, helping you move forward instead of holding yourself back. Steering clear of sticky situations. Give yourself permission to avoid sticky situations. It's okay to avoid certain people, places, or things if they consistently trigger difficult emotions like anger, sadness, or hurt. Protecting your emotional well-being is important. Likewise, seek out people, places, and activities that bring you positive and supportive feelings. If you find yourself in a situation that stirs up unhelpful emotions, remember, you have the power to change it. You can ask others to stop discussing certain topics or suggest moving the conversation to a different place. You're not powerless. Where possible, adjust your environment to support your emotional needs. And when change isn't possible, consider reframing the thoughts and feelings that arise. Reframe limiting thoughts and emotions. Reframing your thoughts and emotions isn't about ignoring reality. You might be feeling frustrated, hurt, or stuck. And that's okay. The first step is always to acknowledge where you are right now. This is where self-awareness plays a key role. That said, not every thought or feeling helps you move forward. Reframing lets you adjust your mindset so your thoughts and emotions become allies that support your success without changing the facts of your situation. Here are some steps to help you reframe. What would you say to a close friend feeling this way? Often shifting perspective is as simple as treating yourself with the kindness you'd offer someone you love. What can you learn from this thought or feeling? You don't need to force a bright side, but finding meaning or insight can turn challenges into opportunities for growth. Are you truly powerless here? List every possible action you can take, no matter how small. This helps loosen limiting beliefs and opens up new possibilities. Is this thought or feeling helping or hurting you right now? All emotions are valid, but some can hold you back. Notice which ones serve your goals and which ones don't. What's the most helpful way to interpret this event? Try different viewpoints. None have to be overly positive, just healthier and more useful. By practicing these steps, you build stronger mental habits that support your growth and well-being. Bask in positive emotion. Positive emotions like joy, contentment, interest, engagement, and pride play a powerful role in your life, and they affect you differently than negative emotions. They broaden how you think and act. Negative emotions can tend to narrow your focus, helping you react quickly to threats or problems. But positive emotions open your mind and widen your perspective. When you feel joy, you play and create. When you feel interest, you explore. When you feel contentment, you savor and integrate your experiences. This broadening effect is linked to increased dopamine in your brain, which supports creative and flexible thinking. Broad thinking builds personal resources. The expanded mindset that comes with positive emotions helps you grow in many ways. Research shows that people who experience more positive emotions tend to be healthier and live longer. They also build stronger friendships and social support networks, develop deeper knowledge, and display greater creativity and optimism. Positive emotions fuel resilience and open the door to new possibilities, helping you become your best self. Small acts build. How do positive emotions create lasting change? The key is what happens after you feel them. When you experience positive emotions, your attention broadens and you're more likely to take helpful actions. Even after those feelings fade, the results of your actions remain. Over time, these small positive actions add up, creating powerful momentum. For example, imagine you get a good grade or a promotion. You feel joy and pride. And while you're still feeling good, you tackle that homework or project you've been putting off. The next day, even if the joy has faded, you've already completed the task. This makes you better at your job or studies, increasing the chances of future success and the positive emotions that come with it. Small positive actions build on each other, creating a cycle of growth and achievement. Bask in positive emotions. We often find ourselves stuck in negative thought loops, anxiety spirals, self pity, or replaying embarrassing moments again and again. But why don't we stew in positive emotions as much? Part of the answer lies in the function. Negative emotions narrow your focus and alert you to problems, while positive emotions broaden your thinking, allowing you to connect beyond yourself. To fully benefit from the broad and build power of positive emotions, you need to bask in them. Allow yourself to feel them deeply and fully. Here are 4 steps to bask in positive emotions. For example, recognize when you're experiencing positive feelings. Use self awareness to tune into what you're feeling. Accept the emotion as it is without needing to change it or feel guilty for being happy. Investigate the emotion gently. Notice what it feels like in your body and what thoughts come along with it. Nurture the positive feeling. Think about what actions or environments can help it grow and bring more positivity into your life. Creating new neural pathways. Now that you've identified what you want to change and how to support yourself through the process, let's explore how change actually happens. As we covered earlier, your actions evolve as your neural pathways do. The more you repeat a new action, the more new synapses form, and those synapses grow stronger. Research shows there's a special type of practice that's especially effective for building these new neural pathways. It's called deliberate practice. The term deliberate practice might sound a bit odd. It's not just practicing with intention. It actually describes a very specific kind of practice with these key features. Small and specific, you focus on one narrow part of the skill you want to improve. The smaller and more targeted your practice, the more effective it will be. Challenging. You intentionally pick a part of the skill that's difficult for you, something you can't do yet. The goal is to push yourself just beyond your current ability. Short and focused. Because this type of practice is hard, you can only keep your full focus for a short time. When your attention fades, it's time to pause and come back later. Measurable. You need clear markers of success. How will you know when you've mastered that small part? Feedback is crucial, so you can adjust and improve until you get it right. Frequent. To create lasting neural pathways, you must repeat this practice often. Keep going until what was once difficult becomes automatic and effortless. Remember, when you feel stuck or your inner critic says, I can't do this, it's too hard, that's just your brain working. The more you repeat something, the more automatic it becomes. That's why practice makes permanent. Breaking it down. How to turn big goals into small steps. When a goal feels overwhelming or unclear, The best way to approach it is by breaking it into actionable steps. You do this by working backwards from your goal. Start with the main goal. What are you trying to achieve? Then define sub-goals. These are the milestones that move you closer to your main goal. For each sub-goal, create specific meaningful actions you can take right now. If a step still feels too big or vague, break it down further until it's something you can actually do today. For example, passing an exam. Sub-goals could be get familiar with what you need to study. Identify the topics you're least comfortable with. Summarize key concepts in your own words. Practice applying your knowledge. Some actionable steps could be read through the scope of syllabus or syllabus of the exam. Do a practice test to see what's covered and where your gaps are. Make a list of topics that need more attention. Rewrite textbook content in your own words. Complete practice problems at the end of each chapter. Redo the practice test to track your improvement. Here's another example. Managing anger with friends or family. Sub-goals could be understand what's really triggering your anger. Reframe the way you think about the situation. Practice new responses in the moment. Some actionable steps. Write for 10 minutes about the last time you lost your temper. What was really going on underneath? Do the reframing exercise in a workbook to explore new ways to think and respond. Create a strategy. For example, if feeling unappreciated is a real trigger, plan to pause when anger rises and communicate that feeling calmly. Test your strategy for 1 week. Then reflect. What worked? What didn't? And what could you do differently? Implementation intentions. The science of following through. You'll likely learn the hard way that wanting to reach a goal isn't always enough. Good intentions often get sidelined by procrastination, distractions, and unexpected setbacks. Fortunately, research into the subconscious mind offers a powerful solution. Implementation intentions, a strategy often paired with mental contrasting. These tools help you turn your goals into reliable action, even when motivation is low. So, what are implementation intentions? Implementation intentions are if-then plans designed to automate your behavior. Rather than depending on willpower or motivation, you mentally rehearse a specific plan. If Q, then I will action. For example, if it's 7 a.m., then I will put on my running shoes and go for a jog. This primes your brain to recognize key moments or obstacles and act automatically. No second guessing, no excuses. Why they work? They help you seize opportunities and overcome obstacles. The if and then structure increases your awareness of when to act, helping you respond with your planned behavior when it matters the most. They reduce effort and reliance on willpower. By shifting decisions to the subconscious, implementation intentions free up mental energy, especially valuable when you're stressed, tired, or overwhelmed. They activate your subconscious mind. Your brain becomes trained to detect cues related to your goals and respond with minimal conscious effort. How to create an implementation intention? It only takes 2 steps. Choose your cue. What is the situation, trigger, or emotion that often precedes your action or obstacle? This is the if part. Define your exact response. Be specific. What will you do when that moment arrives? That's your then action. Example, if I start feeling anxious before a meeting, then I will take 3 deep breaths and focus on one positive intention. By using implementation intentions, you don't just hope for change, you build it into your automatic responses. This is how you create consistency, even when life gets hard. Creating implementation intentions. Turning goals into actions mean planning for both setbacks and windows of opportunity. One of the most effective ways to do this is by using implementation intentions, pre-decided responses that kick in automatically when certain situations arise. So, step 1, identify your obstacles and opportunities. Start by reflecting on the typical things that throw you off course. Obstacle example, you often end up scrolling social media when you should be studying, for example. Now, think about moments you could take advantage of, but often don't. Opportunity example, you're invited to a study group but never quite follow through. Step 2, choose how you'll respond. For each obstacle, decide what you'll do instead. If you find yourself scrolling social media, you could put your phone in another room. Take a short reset break. Grab a water, stretch, return focused. Set a 5-minute timer and stop when it rings. For each opportunity, create a clear plan to act on. If you're invited to a study group, you might add it to your calendar immediately, organize transport ahead of time, ask a friend to go with you. So, writing your own implementation intentions, use this simple format. If trigger, then I will specific action. For example, if I catch myself avoiding emotional journaling, then I'll set a 2-minute timer and jot quick thoughts in my phone. If I walk into the kitchen and the dishes aren't done, then I'll calmly tell my roommate how much I value a clean space. If I feel unappreciated, then I'll recall a time someone showed they cared, like when my roommate cooked dinner and thanked me. Your then action can be a thought, emotion, or behavior that supports your goal. Make your action specific, add time and place. Research shows that you're far more likely to follow through when your plan includes when and where it'll happen. For example, I will review the exam content on Monday at 5 p.m. in the school library. I will write one page about losing my temper every morning as I sit in bed with my coffee. By clearly defining what, when, and where you'll act, implementation intentions transform your goals into repeatable, achievable habits, even when motivation is low. Measuring progress. Tracking progress is a vital part of turning your goals into reality. Without it, you risk losing direction, missing key insights, or overlooking the moments worth celebrating. Why it matters. Fine tune your approach. Regular progress checks help you see what's working and what needs adjustment. Spot challenges and opportunities. Monitoring your efforts allows you to notice patterns that either support or hinder your goals. Celebrate growth. Even small wins deserve recognition. Celebrating them fuels motivation and builds momentum. Keep it simple. You don't need complex systems to track your progress. Try using a habit tracker or daily checklist, weekly reflection questions, a simple journal log, milestone markers, or visual progress charts. Checking in regularly keeps your goals alive and assures you keep moving forward with purpose and clarity. Types of goals. When setting goals, it's helpful to understand the difference between process goals and outcome goals, and why focusing on one over the other can make a big difference in how you feel and perform. Outcome goals. These are results focused. They define a specific end result you want to achieve. Example, you want to pass the exam with a distinction. Often influenced by factors outside your control. Can cause stress if results don't match your efforts. May lead to shortcuts or unhealthy strategies if you're fixated only on the end result. Process goals. These are action focused. They define the consistent behaviours that move you towards your bigger outcomes. For example, study for 1 hour, 4 days a week. Fully within your control. Allow for consistent progress even if the final result is uncertain. Reinforce healthy habits that support your long-term success. Why process goals work better. Process goals focus your energy on what you can do today. They help you stay motivated, reduce anxiety, and build momentum, even when the final outcome is still far away or unclear. A helpful shift. Instead of, I want to get fit, try, I will move my body for 30 minutes every weekday. Instead of, I need to ace this test, try, I'll review my notes every evening for 20 minutes. Remember, the right processes, done consistently, leads to the best possible outcomes and supports your well-being along the way. Measuring progress. Progress isn't always about the end result, especially when outcomes are influenced by things outside your control. What you can control is your input, the consistent actions you take each day. Focus on what you can control. You might have days where, despite your best efforts, things don't go as planned. Things don't that doesn't mean you failed. It just means the outcome was out of your reach today. But if you stayed committed to your process, you've still made progress. Track your process goals. Process goals are measurable and build momentum over time. Each time you follow through, you succeed. Did you study today? Tick. Did you move your body for 20 minutes today? Tick. Did you take 5 minutes to journal or tidy up? Tick. These small wins compound and create lasting change. Build streaks and habits. Count how many days in a row you keep a habit going. How many weeks in a row do you show up for yourself? Try using time-based goals when outcomes feel vague or overwhelming. For example, instead of clean the whole kitchen, aim to clean for 10 minutes each day. Celebrate consistency. Don't wait for a perfect result to feel proud. Celebrate the effort, the consistency, and the commitment to your growth. Every time you follow through, no matter how small, you're becoming who you want to be. it all together. Change is choice, and you hold the power to shape your life. Your brain is adaptable. With consistent practice, what once felt difficult can become easier. What once felt impossible can become part of your daily routine. Even your automatic reactions can shift towards healthier, more helpful responses. Everything begins with a single step. What will you choose to change first? Picking a goal. Use your self-awareness skills to identify one area of your life you want to improve over the next few weeks. There are many possibilities. Choose something meaningful to you that you feel motivated to work on. Tips for choosing a goal. Start small. Pick a goal that feels achievable rather than overwhelming. Focus on what you can control. Choose something within your influence, like a habit or attitude. Be specific. Clearly define what success looks like to you. Consider why it matters. Connect your goal to your values or long-term vision. Write it down. Putting your goal in writing makes it more real and helps you keep yourself accountable. Change your change your response to your situation. You can't change the facts about your physical situation. You can't change how tall you are. The fact that you must go to school, or your parents are, or who your parents are, but you can change how you respond to these facts. You can change the value you attach to your physical appearance. You can change how you show up at your place of learning. You can improve your relationships with your parents. Have you noticed that you sometimes respond to an aspect of your situation in a harmful way? Perhaps consider making this response your focus for personal growth. Change a limiting belief. Perhaps you hold on to a belief that is not true or no longer serves you. Maybe it's a belief about yourself, like thinking I'm not smart enough or I'm not worthy enough of success. Maybe it's a belief about your interactions with others, such as feeling like I don't fit in or people don't value my opinions, or perhaps it's a belief about how the world works. You might think someone like me can never get ahead. If you notice you are holding on to a belief that limits you, try challenging it. For example, replace I'm not smart enough with I can learn and improve with effort. Or shift I don't fit in to I can find my community and connect with others. Revising limiting beliefs can open the door to new possibilities and personal growth. Pick up a new skill or habit. Do you know that your life would be better if only you could do something new? Like managing your time better, playing the guitar, or keeping your living space organized. Picking up a new skill or habit can be life changing. If you're looking for a goal to start with, something that feels manageable and doesn't require too much vulnerability, consider learning a new skill. For example, you might aim to practice a simple guitar chord every day. Set a timer for focus sessions to improve time management, or spend 10 minutes each day decluttering a part of your home. This kind of goal helps you get comfortable with following a plan and making steady progress. Work towards a specific outcome. Maybe you have a clear event or result in mind. It could be preparing for an important exam, training for a race, or building the confidence to ask someone out on a date. Using a specific outcome as your goal gives you a clear target to work towards. When you focus on an outcome, it's important to break your goal down into smaller, manageable steps since there are often many parts involved. For example, if you're studying for an exam, you might plan daily review sessions for each topic. If you're training for a race, you could schedule regular runs with increasing distances. If you want to ask someone out, you might start by practicing conversations or building your confidence through social interactions. Reframe limiting thoughts and emotions. Sometimes the thoughts and feelings that hold us back can get in the way of reaching our goals. Instead of letting doubts and fears stop you, take this opportunity to work through them. Use the prompts to help you shift your perspective and transform those limiting thoughts and emotions into strengths that support your progress. For example, if you find yourself thinking, I'm not good enough to succeed, try reframing it to, I'm learning and improving every day, and setbacks are part of growth. If fear of failure is holding you back, remind yourself that making mistakes is how you gain valuable experience. If negative emotions like anxiety arise, acknowledge them without judgment and focus on what you can control in the present moment. By practicing these shifts, you build resilience and create a mindset that moves you closer to your goals. Tackle change one step at a time. Meaningful change doesn't happen all at once. It happens through steady, consistent effort. By breaking your big goal into smaller, manageable sub-goals, you set yourself up for success. Each sub-goal should be clear and achievable within a set time frame, making progress feel both real and rewarding. Then map out the specific steps you'll take to reach each one. Commit to action regularly, about 5 days a week, and watch how these small focused efforts build unstoppable momentum. Every step forward brings you closer to the change you want to see. You've got this. Prepare for the setbacks before they happen. By using implementation intentions, success doesn't just happen, it's planned. Research shows that when you take the time now to create implementation intentions, you train your brain to respond automatically with helpful habits later. Start by spotting the obstacles you could that could trip you up, and the opportunities waiting for you to grab. Then make a firm commitment. Decide exactly when and where you will take each step forward. Your goal. This simple act of planning turns hesitation into action and procrastination into progress. Own your journey by preparing ahead and watch how consistent, intentional steps transform your dreams into reality. Practice with purpose. Harness the power of deliberate practice. Not all practice is created equal. Your brain thrives when you challenge it. Deliberate practice seems diving into focused, purposeful sessions that push you just beyond what you can comfortably do. This is where real growth happens. If your goal involves mastering a new skill or habit, this approach will fast track your progress. If not, find a supporting skill or habit to develop, because every step forward fuels your success. Commit to practicing with intention and watch your abilities transform as your brain rewires for excellence. See how far you've come. Tracking your progress isn't just important, it's powerful. Measuring how far you've come keeps your motivation high and shows you exactly when to adjust your approach. By celebrating your efforts and small wins along the way, you build momentum that propels you steadily towards your goal. Celebrate every success. Well done. Take a moment to truly acknowledge and celebrate how far you've come. Focus on the effort and the process. These are the true wins. Remember, life is a journey, and every step forward is a victory worth honoring. Well, that was a fantastic, I hope, a very motivating, very exciting webinar. Thank you all so much for joining me for the Reset Your Life, Rewrite Your Story. Break free from what's holding you back and create a future you're proud of. I hope this session has given you more insights, hopefully a real sense of possibility. No matter where you're starting from, lasting change is within your reach. Whether you want to let go of what's holding you back, reshape your mindset, or create a future you're proud of, you now have the tools to begin. If you're ready to take the next step, I'd love to support you. Visit us now at practicemakespermanent.com.au or give us a call at 02 4605 0646 to learn more about our programs and mentoring. And remember, small, consistent steps, intentionally chosen, led to powerful transformation. You've got this, and you don't have to do it alone. Thanks again for being here. Your change starts now. See you soon.